Hi everybody, this is Saad for the Sad Truth. On April 7th, there was an article that appeared in the New York Times titled Blaming Policy, Not Islam, for Belgium's Radicalized Youth. In the article in question, a councilman from one of the districts in the Brussels area, his name is Yves Goldstein, offered all sorts of reasons as to why this radicalization is supposedly taking place. And of course, what is common to all these reasons is that he turned the causes inward. So it was due to things that the West was doing, the government was doing, the Belgian indigenous people were doing to turn these otherwise lovely folks into the criminal terrorists that they end up being. And so it's due to poverty, it's due to unemployment, it's due to lack of integration, it's due to racism, to bigotry. And so this reminds me of a phenomenon that happens with women who suffer from battered wife syndrome, whereby they internalize the causes for why they are being abused, right? So in a sort of grotesque pathology, in a form of sort of diabolical, magical thinking, somehow the fact that they are being beaten and abused by grotesque men, well, they had it coming. And there's actually an expression, and I'll let you find out the origins of the expression. I'll say it in French, and then I'll translate. Si tu ne sais pas pourquoi tu bats ta femme, elle le sait. If you don't know why you're beating your wife, she knows it, right? So this is quite an extraordinary saying, if you'd like, because it demonstrates what happens when victims turn the causal reasons for their being victimized inward. And this is what's happening everywhere in the West, where despite the innumerable evidence pointing to the causes of the genocidal mayhem found in the four corners of the world, no, it must be something that we are doing. We're bad. We're creating this. Now, I've already enumerated in a previous clip the astonishing list of causes that members of the Ostrich Brigade have proposed to explain terrorism across the four corners of the globe. But the one that Yves Goldstein proposed might be the top one yet to be espoused. And if it weren't so tragic, it would literally be a fantastic article for The Onion. So here we go. I'm going to read the exact quote. Are you ready for this? Here we go. These young people will never go to museums until 18 or 20. They never saw Chagall. They never saw Dalí. They never saw Warhol. They don't know what it is to dream. So a lack of exposure to art in part drives these people to become the raging terrorists that they end up becoming. Now, he's not saying it's the only cause, but certainly not going to the right musicals, not engaging in interpretive postmodern dance, not seeing Chagall, Jewish Chagall. All of these things are driving these otherwise lovely folks to genocidal hatred, right? I mean, just try to imagine the consequences of espousing such sentiments, right? This is a gentleman who is a professional politician, who is entrusted with protecting the civilization from which he comes. And yet he finds every conceivable possible explanation, quote explanation, to justify why these folks are doing the things that they are doing. And it doesn't matter that they tell you exactly why it is that they're doing. No, he knows better. And in this case, he's identified the causal link, or the part causal link, and it is lack of exposure to art. So for example, when we escaped Lebanon because there was a lineup of possible militia groups that wanted to execute us, it turns out that it had nothing to do with the fact that we were Jewish and they were from a religion that should go unnamed. Rather, had we exposed these militiamen to Kandinsky, had they caught a Broadway show of Cats, had they maybe been able to go and appreciate the humor in the Book of Mormons, any wide range of possible exposure to art could have softened them and we could have all lived in peace. Now, of course, in a society where freedom of speech is the norm, you can't criminalize stupidity. And so, of course, I respect and defend Yves Goldstein's right to espouse this lunacy. But there should be consequences to your suicidal speech, right? I do my part. I satirize him. I go after him on Twitter. Everybody should be on the lookout for people who espouse positions from their large platforms that are suicidal for pluralistic secular societies. I'm trying to do my part. Do yours. Talk to you soon. Take care.